Hello, fanboys and fangirls, and I am not the Blockbuster Buster. I'm the Animation Fanatic, and I've been away for a long time. Uh, yeah, I've been very busy these last couple of months, and also very lazy. And busyness and laziness do not go well together, especially in a situation like this. Now, before I move on, a couple of updates. If you were a fan of Beware the Batman reviews, I don't think I'll be getting to that any day soon. If you're a fan of Turtle reviews, I don't know. I don't even know what. I haven't watched it in so long. I don't even know what season they're in right now. I last saw some season 3 episodes, but I haven't gotten around to watching more. So they might be in season 4 for all I know. But I'm so far behind. And when I left off my reviews, I was in the middle of season 2. So to catch up would take a long time. Legend of Korra season 3. Don't know if I really feel like it. We'll see. We'll see if that happens. Star Wars Rebels, again, I'm a little bit behind. I know they're going to be, now that the season finale has happened, they're going to be stopping for a while. But I don't know if I want to review that or not. Total Drama Pakata Island, though, I really do, because that is, Total Drama is one of my big passions, and I do want to review it. So I might get into that one. If I was to do the TMNT reviews, I might just give a brief overview of the rest of the second season, just talk about some of what I thought of it, and then start individually with the third season, and then the fourth season if it started or not. I don't know at the moment. Let me actually look that up, because I do not know whether or not it has started or not. Okay, it has not started yet. The third season has not actually finished yet. Okay. Alright then. So I might be able to do that. I might just be able to do that. There's a lot of there's 14 episodes to review, plus the ones that I missed in back in the previous one. I think the last one I left off was Wormquake or Metal. I can't remember which one I left off, but yeah, I can talk about them. Like, I can look at, I don't know if I'll watch all the episodes, but I can look at them briefly, like look at the synopses and tell you what I thought. But I know I'm called the Animation Fanatic, but I do enjoy other things, and that's actually what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about some non-animated things. I'm actually a little more excited to talk about these non-animated things than animated stuff, and you might be seeing more of that today. Yeah, maybe I should change my name, but whatever. You know, I'm an Animation Fanatic, but I'm also a fan of a lot of other things. You know, Some Jerk with a Camera is called Some Jerk with a Camera, but he's not a jerk all the time. Well, 1% of the time. Okay. So you might be asking, Fanatic, what are you going to talk about today? What is this great thing? Well, I'm actually going to talk to you about one of my Christmas presents, which is very cool, and I'm very excited to show this to you. It is George R.R. Martin's The World of Ice and Fire, The Untold History of Westeros, and The Game of Thrones. This is the equivalent of the Bible of Game of Thrones and Song of Ice and Fire information. It works with both. I haven't watched a whole ton of Game of Thrones because I'm more of a fan of the book series, Song of Ice and Fire. But I believe in lore. I know they changed things in the show, but I believe in terms of lore, not much gets changed. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe in terms of lore, not much gets changed. So this works as a good companion if you're a fan of the show, the books, or both. In here we have some. Let me take off the cover here because it's be easier for me to show you that. In here we have some. It's kind of bad on my video, but we have just some absolutely stunning artwork. This is just one of the many pictures. That was Dragonstone, by the way. Although I always imagine Dragonstone to be a little bit different. This is awesome. This is Rhaegar Targaryen and Robert Baratheon fighting at the Battle of the Trident. Ruby Ford, to be exact. Yeah, and that's not the least of it. There's some other stunning artwork here. Here is Dorne. Here's a map. Here's a nice map of Dorne. Yeah, you can't see that very well. Yeah, here's Dorne, a nice map of Dorne. Very detailed. I wish I could get a better zoom in there, but very detailed, listing all of the not cities, towns, castles, locations, resources. Here's a. Let me find you a picture of something else. Let's see. Here's some. Nope, that's not it. Here's a nice picture of actually Aegon the First. Here's a good picture of him, Aegon the Conqueror. Here is a wonderful picture of the Iron Throne. You know, on the show, the Iron Throne is much smaller than that, but I like the idea of it being just this huge chair made out of all of these swords. Oh, and I don't know if you heard of the rumor, but possibly one of Gandalf's swords is in there, so it's certainly possible that that a Targaryen at some point killed Gandalf. No, not killed Gandalf. Maybe just took his sword. There's a Baratheon. I can't remember which one that is, but I just think that's a really cool picture. And this has got all kinds of artwork like that. There is tons of artwork similar to that. Here's River Run. Don't know if you can see it very well. There's River Run. A little bit drowned for my taste, so I don't know how much you'll like all of the artwork because it is varied. It is a varied sort of artwork, like Moat Cailin here. Oops, I don't know if you thought Moat Cailin would look like this or not, but it looks kind of nice. But it's not just the artwork. This is a history of Westeros, going back to the First Men. It's a history of all of Westeros, different periods of history in Westeros time. It's also a little bit of a history of Valyria and, you know, their interactions. So it talks about, like, the time before the conquest, during the conquest, after the conquest, and just all the history up until about Robert's Rebellion. And, yeah, it talks about Robert's Rebellion, that's when the history stops. It also gives details about all the regions. Again, history, also information about them, culture, whatnot. It's very detailed. This is basically a completely fantasized. This is the inside without the jacket. Fantasized, made-up history book, and it is really cool. Not only that, not only does it talk about the it also talks about the Rhoynar and like other peoples, but it does talk about other peoples. A whole third of the book. Maybe not quite a third, but a good quarter of the book is committed to non-Westerosi people. It talks about the Giscari and Slaver's Bay, the free cities, Bravos, Pentos. It talks about the Ibmen. It talks about Quohor, Volantis, all of those nice places. The Summer Isles, Nath, the Basilisk Isles. It gives information on all of these things. The Dothraki, Yaiti. It gives information on like these different cultures that you never knew or barely knew anything about in the books or in the show. This is a great. It talks about Asai by the Shadow even, which you barely know anything about, and it's got some decent family trees. I wish they went a little farther back because they don't go all the way back to the beginning of the Stark or Lannister lineage. Well, they do provide some decent details. There's not actually a chapter on the Crown Lands, unfortunately, so if you wanted to learn more about the Crown Lands, there's only bits and pieces here and there. There is a map, but there's not a chapter. This is such an amazingly detailed book, and this combined with, I know there's extras from the DVDs of Game of Thrones. This combined with those extras could tell, and Wiki of Ice and Fire could basically tell you everything you need to know about the whole history of this world. In terms of authorship, it's written by George R. R. Martin, but it's also, I'm betting these two here, these other two here, Elio Garcia and Linda Antonson. They're probably the ones who did most of the writing on it, I bet, because, George is busy writing The Winds of Winter. But, I'm sure they consulted him and whatnot, but just amazing. Just a word of warning, though, if you want to get this, I would recommend that you finish reading. You read the entire first 3 books, or watch the entire first 3 seasons of the show, because if you don't mind spoilers, because there are some spoilers near the end of what happens, or of what has happened, because this book talks the way it's pretending to be authored by a maester who is trying to put down a whole history of the Westeroes, and also other lands that Westeros comes into very fleeting contact with. So yeah, that's all I can really say about this book. It's just so astoundingly gorgeous and incredibly detailed. It is almost everything you want to know about the world, the world of Ice and Fire. It's almost everything you want to know. And I keep I read it all. It took me about 2 weeks to read this whole baby, but I read it all, and I keep referencing it even today. It's a great joy to look at, and if this is pretty much only for fans, I think. But if you are a fan, this is just the perfect book for you to get if you love this series just as much as I do. Anyway, that's it for that review. I will be back soon with more. You might be seeing some advertisements on my videos from now on, because I am going to start putting ads on. Not immediately, because I'm still getting approved, but yeah, you should see some more content from me too, hopefully, if I get a chance. So, anyway, this is the Animation Fanatic, signing out.